Well, if you have a quadcopter without no one image, a lot of person try to make and change over the firmware, but they are wrong. You don't need to change in place. You don't need to change the firmware of your quadcopter. Look, the first thing when you receive your quadcopter from the seller, I think that you don't need, and it's a bad thing. You turn on the quadcopter into your house. You need to turn on out of your house because your quadcopter, there is a system of navigation. There are the compass, the IMU, your the gimbal. You are a lot of places in your quadcopter that have a good sensitivity to the reception of GPS signal. And when you receive your quadcopter and turn on in your house, the GPS board is over. There's no function. And the central system can to understand that GPS is damaged. I need to turn off GPS now. Because if I don't turn off GPS, all the drone will be burned too. Yes. When I arrive in your house, turn on out of your house. Here, I'm receiving now today for repair this quadcopter, Xiaomi Fimi Mini. Well, the first thing I need to see is, oh, it's here. There's bike condition. Let me see. Wait, listen and look for the gimbal. Gimbal started calibration. Started. Okay, there is image generation here. Wait. I need to see if there's bind condition. There's bind condition. I can fly? Yes, I can fly. Okay. There is gimbal calibration and move. Okay. In this situation, you never in your life need to change or replace the firmware system of this quadcopter. Yes, this quadcopter is in perfect function. When it was arrived from the seller in the house of the owner in your house, into your house, in the bedroom or the classroom, open it, the box, turn it on the button, and now this quadcopter is without no one image generation. Wow! I was wrong, but what I can to do for generate image? Here in my job, I need to replace the drone in the fabrication system from the zero. I need to turn off the brain of this quadcopter, and then this quadcopter will be good for fly again. But if you have no attention, if you don't pay attention for a quadcopter without move sensor, without no one that make this quadcopter start the function with the functional system to avoid a choke, you don't and you can't start the move into your house, only out of your house. There's no fear here. It's no difficult. Well, now I will start the app and you will see that there's no image here, and I come back with image here in this quadcopter. Let's go. There's no function, and we have conditions to connect to Wi-Fi mode. Let me see if it's this, if it's here. There's nothing. No, there's nothing. There's no condition to bind. There is no condition to start the bind. There's no function. It's connected. Look. Look here. There's nothing. No one. Nothing. Well, and now I will restart the quadcopter for start the job. Hold a minute, and I come back now. Well, we are here again. I will replace the app. Look, when your cell phone doesn't start the app automatically, you have no conditions to fly. You don't need to force. I don't need to do now the firmware actualization. I don't want to open the app. Okay, I'm here and I have images from my body. Okay, look, there's conditions for flight. Let me show to you. This quadcopter now have a good conditions to fly. Look, the same quadcopter. Look, I showed to you. It's the same system. The same thing I was making here. It's the same thing. When your quadcopter arrives from the seller, you don't need to do no one actualization of the system. Your quadcopter arrive in your house with the best of the best system to make fly with security your quadcopter. Now, let's go to the repair. Yes. When your quadcopter arrive, you fix a USB cable and try to develop a new system in your quadcopter. You don't need. When your quadcopter arrives, it's perfect for flight. You don't need to do nothing. Only calibrate and fly. You don't need to move nothing in your quadcopter. Don't listen to the other persons who talk that you need to replace the firmware. No, you don't need. This quadcopter was perfect for flight when left the seller and came back to arrive in your house. But when arrived at the house of the owner think that, well, I need to replace the firmware. Well, I will do. I will replace. Dun, 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 dun. And then it's the maid. The maid. But now it's good for fly. And I will do here some things for left this quadcopter saved. Really saved for fly. Without no one choke. Without nothing. And I will do here and things to turn this quadcopter really safe for fly with security. I will start now. Wash and protect the system for let this quadcopter perfect. The GPS board is not good, and this means that the owner is flying with a great shine. When the day is too hot, it's too bad to fly. You need to be careful because If you don't be careful, your quadcopter won't have a good condition for flight. You have a small module to capture the Wi-Fi signal, and it need to be really good with a good condition for receive the sky signal or the GPS signal over the sky. And when I replace it, washing and trying to develop here a better condition for connection, I'm trying to make this quadcopter good again for flight. But when the shine is too hot, is too bad for flight. Also, when the day is too cloud, have too cloud, you are not apt for fly with your quadcopter. Be careful because quadcopter is a system that I think really it isn't too strong. It's fragile, I think. And there is a good condition for receive GPS signal. There's also a good condition for binding system. And there is a perfect condition for stabilization of the gimbal. And there is a wonderful conditions for start flying with security with GPS signal, gimbal movement, receive of the signal to compass. There is a good condition for INO star function. And there is the only condition for start the job of gyroscope. If you don't be careful, you can't fly. Oh, you cannot fly. Now, look this. The quadcopter, without fall, without no one damage, without no choke, without nothing, there was no condition for flight. Well, the cable is perfect, but the owner is not apt. There's no skill for flight. He is not skilled for flight with a professional quadcopter. If you don't have an ability, if you are not skilled for flight with a professional quadcopter, you need to start with a simple quadcopter. Yes. Choose a simple quadcopter for learn, and then hide your bad ability and choose a better quadcopter for fly. Well, now I will protect all the parts of this quadcopter. And let me see where is the things that I use to protect the quadcopter. His. I need to protect the flat cable because there's no good condition for security here. And I need to do. But my counsel is this. When your quadcopter arrive, don't make nothing. Only calibrate and fly. Don't make nothing, really. Don't make nothing. Only calibrate and fly. Look, I will replace here a piece to protect the flat cable, and then the square is perfect. About the situation to make and change and firmware system, you are wrong. There is a great mistake. Really, a great mistake. Don't listen to any group. Don't listen to any person who speak that you need to replace your firmware system be- because the seller is right, your quadcopter is good, and you don't need, and it's a bad thing to do about replace firmware system in your quadcopter. Wonderful. Now it will be wonderful for fly. Perfect. Look. Protected. Perfect. Hands on. Hands on. Other piece. When the people talk to me, I was trying to replace my firmware. I think that you are crazy. You are wrong. It's a bad thing to do. Your quadcopter was good for flying, and you are trying to damage your quadcopter. Protecting the gimbal. Perfect. The touch of your hands will damage your quadcopter if you are not skilled to do anything by reparation in your quadcopter. You need to be careful, but this that I'm doing here is only for protect the system. Boarding a new condition of protect in this quadcopter. Really, don't make nothing in your firmware system. The firmware system is perfect of the seller. You don't need me to do nothing here. Only receiving your quadcopter, make the calibrate, start flying, and have fun. Only this. Don't listen to any persons who are trying to talk that you need to make a change in your system. When this quadcopter was developed, the seller was thinking that your quadcopter need to arrive perfect in your hands with all the things necessary to fly with security. And if the system make that you need to do any firmware change, you need to be careful. This quadcopter was opened by the owner. And when you open your quadcopter, the touch of your hands can damage your quadcopter. Your body is waterful and you have great energy in your body. And if you are not skilled to work with this repair, you will damage your quadcopter. I believe it's real. But now, this quadcopter is perfect again for flight. And I dream that. When it arrived to the owner listened to my counsels and fly with security without damage against this quadcopter. And he will be happy in all your life flying with security. Well, don't change your firmware system. You don't need. It's a bad thing to do. Look, now it's perfect. Perfect for flight. With security and current. Wow! My counsel is this. Arrive at your quadcopter, don't change the firmware. Okay?